Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If you are brand new to my channel, yay, you finally made it. I'm so glad. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate your support. My goal is to save you time and money. I hate wasting time and money watching crummy movies, and you probably do too. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and I'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar. So if you like this particular film, I think you might like the other ones, or vice versa. If you like the other ones, you might like this one. So the movie I'm reviewing today is called Little Wing. This coming of age drama is now available to watch on the Paramount Plus channel, subscription channel, as well as on Amazon Prime, YouTube for pay, and the Roku channel. It's rated PG-13. It's an hour and 40 minutes. And my overall movie review mom grade is a B. So overall, in a nutshell, so at the very beginning of the movie, we read on the screen words that inform us that Americans move on average every 5 years. Pigeons, in contrast, almost never move. Racing pigeons have a fixed, profound, and nearly incontrovertible sense of home. And thus begins the symbolism of a 13-year-old girl who is dragged into the world of pigeon racing as she deals with her parents' divorce and the impending loss of their family home. The film was directed by Dean Israelite, and writing credits go to John Gatan and Susan Orlean. So, quick tips for parents. Teens who are going through their parents' divorce will definitely be able to relate to this story in the sense that it is tumultuous experience and it really turns your life upside down. There is talk of making out and there is talk of kissing with tongue. There's no profanity except for words like whoop-de-frickin-do, which I actually think is hilarious, and a couple other words like that. There is talk of suicide as a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I really liked that description. Talk of the Vietnam War. Teens do some very dangerous things, and then, as I mentioned, there's some kissing. So some of the themes that are illustrated really well are divorce, redemption, hope, family, home, of course, cancer, financial debt, veterans, life and death, real estate and mortgages, and unlikely friendships. So here's the long list of things that I really liked about this film. First of all, Brooklyn Prince is the starlet in the movie. She does a fantastic job portraying a moody, frustrated teen trying to navigate her parents' divorce, losing her childhood home, and finding her place in this crazy world. Brian Cox adds the perfect element of a crusty old mentor. I've always liked Kelly Riley, and she plays the mom in this. Shay Tafari gives us an adorable best friend for the protagonist, the girl. And we won't talk about the fact that he screams like a girl in one of the scenes. It just made me laugh out loud. I remember the day that I found out my parents were getting divorced. I was only 10 years old. And so I felt like my whole world was falling apart. It was devastating and confusing and hard. And so if you do know someone whose parents are going through a divorce, they might appreciate this film and the life lessons that it teaches. And I really appreciated those elements. The movie takes place in Portland, Oregon. Now, I've been there a couple of times, and I've seen signs around town bragging that the city is the weirdest city in the world. They have a rival, though. Austin, Texas has a slogan, "Keep Austin Weird." So I'm actually going there in April to see the solar eclipse. So I will be posting all about Austin, and maybe I'll tell you which city I think is the weirdest. Slow motion walking scenes always make me laugh out loud. You know, when the characters are trying to be extra cool and tough. And so there's a moment like that where you're like, yes, they're going to crush it. Anyway, it was kind of cute. The title is really great, and it refers to a kid who is learning as well as to the pigeons themselves. The last few minutes of the movie brought tears to my eyes, and I think that you'll really enjoy it. It is family friendly. So, with all that praise, there were just a few things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done differently or better. For example, who gives pigeons as a gift to a 13-year-old girl to help her get over her parents' divorce? Strange gift, right? Well, it's exactly what sets her on this journey. And so, whenever you're trying to come up with a gift for a young kid or a teenager, never underestimate the power of what that gift could have and the significance it might play in their life. But I did think it was kind of odd. But there we go. There is a plot point that I didn't understand though. So if a pigeon will only return to its home that it loves, what good would it do to steal or buy someone else's pigeon to try to win a race? Because wouldn't that pigeon just return to its original homeowner? So again, I don't know all the intricacies. We do learn a little bit about pigeon racing, and there is a very heartwarming twist that kind of addresses that point that I thought was very sweet. But again, I just was like, wait a minute. And then there's a scene that's kind of a heist, and all of the characters involved in this heist moment make a ton of noise yelling at each other in the street for everyone to hear. And I'm like, wait, that's not smart. Shh, be quiet. People are going to hear you and you're going to get caught. And so I was just like, why are they doing that? Now, so whenever I watch movies, I take notes, and specifically, I'll write down funny lines and interesting lines to share them with you, just so you can get a taste of the dialogue and the script writing quality. And so you can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. But I'll share some of them with you right now. So, Brooklyn Prince is the protagonist. She plays this young teenage girl, and she tells her brother, she's like, oh, I gotta go. She's like, I'm gonna steal a bird from the Russian pigeon mafia. And so her brother, who's played by Simon Kahn, says, that sounds like a really dumb idea. I'll get my stuff. And I love that teenagers and young people in general are always up for an adventure like that. Old people would be like, oh, I'm just too tired. You go do it. That's kind of how I've been feeling lately. And then Brian Cox is this crusty old mentor. And so the brother does something crazy, and he looks over at the teenage girl and he's like, your brother is crazier than I am. And so they have a playful personality, or the characters have playful personalities. And there are some cute moments like that. And then there were quite a few interesting lines that I thought were really good. So at one moment, Caitlin, again played by Brooklyn Prince, says, I couldn't rely on my parents anymore for anything. I needed to take matters into my own hands. And I remember that when my parents got divorced, I was like, wait a minute, isn't their job to protect us kids and, be there for us? And I was like, wait a minute. And so I kind of grew up fast and realized I needed to take some things into my own hands, so to speak. Another line that Brooklyn Prince's character says, she's quoting a punk rocker. And she says, the quote is, I have to take risks because why else would you be alive? Because you only have one life to live. And that's a big lesson that she learns, rather than waiting for things to happen or being just mad that things are happening, for her to take control and to take control of her own destiny. And then a really interesting line is as she's talking to Brian Cox's character, who's old, getting older. She's like, are you dying? And he says, we're all dying, Caitlin. Some of us are just doing it a little faster than everyone else. And that really causes her to stop and think. When you're young, you just think you're going to, first of all, live forever and feel well forever. And I thought that I would get old, of course, but not until I was like 80. But I didn't realize I was going to feel old much younger than that. Anyway, so I thought that that was an interesting line. And then Brian Cox, again, the mentor, tells her everything can be all right as long as you're not alone, because she is trying to go off on her own and take matters into her own hands. But she does have a support group. She has friends and now this mentor and this pigeon community that she's just discovered. And they can be there for you in tough times. So if you are going through a tough time, don't isolate yourself. The depression will dig in deeper. Reach out for help and reach out to communities, whether it's church or school or work or any other type of group in your community. There are people there who would be thrilled to be there for you. So another interesting line is when Brooklyn says about her brother, who's experiencing this divorce and this depression in his own way. She looks at him and something happens and she says, Matt did something I hadn't seen him do in 2 years. He smiled. And sometimes you get that way when you're so depressed, you almost feel like it's a violation to smile and be happy again. And so he's able to smile, and she was able to do something for him, and he was able to do something for her. And the best way to get out of your own funk and your own depression is to serve other people. I promise. And then, not a big, huge spoiler, but a couple of people say something somewhat similar. And so, towards the end of the movie, Caitlin says, life can hurt. Life can be eighth grade. But when you really think about it, life is sweet. And I loved that because life is hard. And yet, simultaneously, it is sweet as well. All right, so let me give you some recommendations for other movies about divorce that I've loved for years. The first one is Mrs. Doubtfire. It's so heartwarming, so sweet. Man, don't we miss Robin Williams? He was so amazing. Another one is one that I watched when I was quite young called Kramer versus Kramer. And it had a big impact on me because my parents were going through a divorce about that time. And then I remember thinking The Squid and the Whale was good. There's definitely some crude moments in that one, just as a heads up. I would not say that it's family friendly. And there's a lot of yelling and screaming, but it's a young boy and a teenager. So two boys whose parents are going through a divorce, and the way that they try to make sense of it. And if I thought better, I probably could have come up with a better one, but such as it is, that's one you could check out. All right, that is it. Hopefully you enjoy my reviews, and hopefully they help you by saving time and money so you can not watch the crummy movies and get to ones that are really, really good, or ones that can be helpful, or ones that are family friendly. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.